Good evening, friends. The noise in the background is the kettle boiling for the obvious reason, but just look at how the rescue rose has sort of opened. Isn't that just rather gorgeous? Now, interestingly, the bloom is too heavy for the plant. I wonder how this one will turn out. The rose cuttings, I'm looking at those, I'm sort of, it's died back. Now, as long as it doesn't die back below those shoots, that's fine. This one, look, that seems to be doing all right. That one looks like it might have gone the way of all flesh, but they seem to be surviving. So that's going to be rather wonderful, isn't it? 3 rose bushes out of a bunch of cheap flowers. That's, that's the way to do it. Beats going to the garden centre and spending lots of money. But there we are. Right, kettle's finished boiling. I better stop gabbing and make the tea. Well, the weather's just too nice to stay indoors. That's looking promising, isn't it? Yeah, right, let's go for a walk. Well, if you look at those trees, you can see that it's sunny, but when you look across the river, you can see that we've got a sea mist. So, what's the other side? Kent seems to have disappeared for the time being. Once upon a time I could have explained all that to you, but it's all to do with warm air and moisture and stuff which you sort of get around large bodies of wetness. So there we are, it's that time of night. Behind me all the traffic is all the people rushing home. Well, I rushed home some little while ago and I thought I'd just come out and catch the breeze, as it were. Well, if you thought I was going to go paddling, I'm afraid not. High tide was, what was it, about 1 o'clock today, and you can see in the beach where the tide line came up to today. And when it goes out, boy does it go out. Be a long walk to find enough water to paddle in. It's always good to sometimes look along the shoreline. Yeah, there is life in this river. Quite a lot of life actually. That one obviously has met its maker. But yeah, let's have a little walk along the tide line. One of the features along the beaches along here are these tidal pools. It's nothing more nor less than a concrete wall sort of set on the beach, which allows you to let your children paddle even when the tide is out. And the tide has come up today, right up to the steps. So that water in the tidal pools gets changed every day. As you get nearer Southend, of course you get nearer all of the kiosks, Rossi ice cream and various other little tea and coffee sort of places. But it's still a long way to Southend itself. This really we should think of as being Westcliff. And I haven't made my mind up. I might go a little bit further, or I might track up the hill and start walking home. Walking, not running. I don't do running. Now, there is a reason why this is called Westcliff, because in effect it is a cliff the thing about this part of Essex is it's not rock, it's not a great big chalk cliff or anything like that. It is clay, and the whole thing is slowly moving. And when I say slowly, you know, we are talking millimetre a year, that sort of speed. So in some places there are these nice solid concrete retaining walls, and look at that, lovely benches that you can sit on when the sun is nice. And I was just looking, there's plants that my dad used to call bottle brush plants, and I really don't know what the proper name is for them. So if any of you clever botany sort of people know what that's properly called, until then we'll call it a bottle brush plant. Makes you feel like singing, doesn't it? What shall we sing? Oh, there ain't nothing like a dame. No, maybe not. I'm going to wash that man. No? Happy, happy. You get the feeling. No, we're not in the South Pacific. We are still in Westcliff. And there's some proper English trees. That's a horse chestnut. And there's some rather lovely looking trees there. That just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Look at that, furry palm trees. Pretty much right on the beach. The road along here during to the high season, of course, this is all parking spaces, and to my mind that sort of spoils the place, but of course the town needs visitors and tourists, so it needs somewhere for them all to park. Again, this is one for the botanists amongst you. Don't ask me what it's called. It's a tree. It's got purple flowers and it's gorgeous. Now this one I know, that's a horse chestnut, gives us conkers in September. And there we are, we're up at the top. It's not that steep, I did it. Makes me puff a bit, but you know, I did it. What we're going to do now, we'll walk down the road home. And sometimes when you're out walking, you see things that you think, oh, look at that, you think. Now, just to give you an idea of how big that is, there's my finger, there's that caterpillar. Ha! What is it, 3 inches long?